Hey everybody, welcome to the channel where we talk everything Chicago Bears, Cubs. We also got some Blackhawks and maybe some Bulls in there too. Listen, if you like what you see here today, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments down below. Make sure we can all beat that YouTube algorithm and grow together. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Chicago Cubs fans, welcome back, and welcome in. Cubs off to a very hot start for spring training, 4-0 as they come back to take down Texas. They are 4-0 to start spring training, and boy, oh boy, this even though it's only 4 games in the spring training, I think that I could say uh, pretty confidently that this seems like a very much different Chicago Cubs baseball team. I mean, we got some new faces for one. There's plenty of bullpen depth to work through to get whittled down to the opening roster or to the opening day roster. However, first thing that I want to do is go over some pretty key injuries that I'm seeing so far into spring training, and then we'll break down the game against Texas, and then we'll wrap her up. So. Um, The latest in injuries, kind of not really that much of a surprise, really. These are some injuries that we knew about going into spring training, and some of them kind of popped up last minute, like just before spring training or as spring training workouts were starting. So we'll start off with Nico Horner at second base. This is one that we knew about well before spring training started. He went under that flexor tendon surgery in October. Uh, he was talked about today or yesterday by Craig Counsell. Craig Counsell didn't really give a whole lot of information, but the sentiment so far has been that he won't miss a whole lot of regular season action, if at all. Now, I don't know what that would really look like. I don't know how much time he would be missing. But it says early 2025 here on the injury and roster moves page. I think that they're shooting for him to be ready in time for the opening series against LA. But the feeling around a lot of people at this point just seems to be, don't really worry about him having to go all the way to Japan. Just make sure that he's healthy for perhaps maybe the first opening series at home at Wrigley Field, which I would also be okay with. I mean, even if he does miss some time, it doesn't sound like he would miss more than 2 weeks anyways, which is a good thing. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that Nico Horner situation. He was in the booth today talking for those first few innings, which is pretty neat. Just kind of a little player action up in the booth, kind of like that. That was pretty nice. But yeah, he's not expected to miss a lot. He's just doing general workouts. He is throwing. So at this point, I think it would be considered day to day because he's not on any official injury list. He's not like on the 15 or 30 or 60-day IL. So they're basically just probably going to check in and see where he's at the end of spring training before that opening series against the Dodgers, and then they'll probably shift him to an IL if they really need that. But at this point, I don't really see it. If he's doing baseball type activities and he's still getting stronger, we'll probably see him. Um, we'll probably see him. Probably not the Dodger series, but a little bit afterwards. Probably that either that first opening series or maybe the first series that they come back to Wrigley after the season starts. Which again, I would be okay with. You can't. Nico Horner is one of those players that you definitely don't want to push it with. Dansby Swanson also had that surgery in the offseason. We saw him in the lineup yesterday. So obviously he's clear and free for baseball, which is good. I would assume that he probably wouldn't have a ton of action early in spring, but you'll probably catch him a little bit later in the next maybe week and a half or two, probably really ramping it up before going to Japan for that series against the Dodgers. In the latest of news, we have Javier Assad. He's got a mid-left oblique strain, as I'm reading it here on the website. Uh, he is progressing in his throwing program. Could be set for a bullpen session in the next couple of days. and this was updated from this morning. Craig Counsell said that he does not expect the injury to be a long-term issue. I'm okay with that as well. We kind of know what Javier Assad is. You can use him as a spot starter if you need to, but more or less long relief out of the bullpen. So, I think that he would be a solid piece to get back at least for now, and unless somebody really just competes for his job in the bullpen or maybe that fifth starting spot. Who knows? I mean, that's really what spring training is all about. But yeah, he again not. I would consider him probably a day-to-day issue. They haven't put him on any official, 15, 30, or 60-day IL. It just says early 2025. So you could see him ramping up, maybe seeing some spot innings here and there as spring training progresses. Next, the outfielder Owen Casey, left groin strain. His return is March or April, and so he is in a full shutdown period. They estimate his shutdown to be 10 days from what I'm reading here. After sustaining a groin strain, the Cubs are being cautious due to ongoing comeback from core muscle surgery in October, and that is right. He did have a surgery in October. So I could see them not really wanting to, push him too much. So he'll probably see maybe an IL stint before returning to the AAA Cubs. I don't see him really doing a whole lot in spring training because now he's got a double issue going on, coming back from that core muscle surgery and now the groin. I can't really see him ramping up very quickly enough to really some make some waves in spring training, just because spring training is, I mean, we've only got 1 month left. So unless he makes some serious strides, I don't really see him being back. Infielder Matt Shaw, this is a big one. Left oblique soreness, but what is good is his expected return is day to day, so his doesn't sound too serious. But obviously with oblique injuries, that is such a wide open window. You don't really know what it's looking like. I mean, some oblique injuries you see can be just, a couple of days to a week. In the case of Seiya Suzuki, we saw him a couple years ago miss a good couple of months worth of time because of an oblique injury. So really, I mean, oblique injuries you have to tread very carefully. So I would hope that with his day-to-day, his was last updated from Craig Counsell yesterday, the 22nd. So I would like to see what happens in the next couple of days, because I would imagine that he should be ready in time for that series against LA in Japan, if not the very first series back home. So he could, and it says here that he could join the team for on-field workouts as early as next week, which if you're looking at that, I mean, you could be talking Monday, because this update was given yesterday, or you could just be talking sometime early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But yeah, we'll be tracking him very closely, because right now third base is practically his, wide open for the taking. It is his job to lose. We already know that with Justin Turner coming, he's more or less going to be first base help against lefties and to help out Michael Busch over there. So I would anticipate him to ramp up, Matt Shaw to ramp up very quick when his next update comes out. Outfielder Brett Bateman. Don't know too much about these next two people on this list. I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. So basically, all I have to report is basically just what's on the website. He has a right handmate injury. His expected return is to be determined. The status is that Cubs manager Craig Counsell said that Bateman, a non-roster invitee, is going to undergo handmate surgery on his hand in Chicago. So that was updated on February 20th. So he will miss some pretty substantial time. The handmate could be a very lingering issue that could last for a while, even after a surgery to correct that issue. So we will keep an eye on him as well. Probably expect to see him shift to a 60-day IL at some point. Then Brandon Birdsell, right-hand pitcher, right lat strain. Expected return is in April. So Birdsell, the Cubs prospect and non-roster invitee, is expected to be shut down for 3 to 4 weeks after an MRI revealed a grain 1 straight of his right lat per Craig Counsell. That was on the 15th. So yeah, he will probably also miss some substantial time. Being a pitcher, one of the lats bothering you is really not a good thing. Those could, again, are kind of like they're kind of like they're kind of like oblique strains for position players. I mean, they could go away after a couple of days and they could linger for months. So, um, and a grade one strain is particularly the part that is very not good. Although, as a non-roster invitee, looking at the potential impact that he maybe could have made, I suppose that probably just shutting him down and letting that just run its course is probably the smartest move. I mean, you do have quite a bit of pitchers in spring training already. Um, so if we just look at some of the latest transactions here, just really quickly, they have a list of them here. February 23rd, outfielder Travis Jankowski signed to a minor league deal with invitations to spring training. Outfielder Greg Allen signed a minor league contract with an invite to spring training on the 20th. Justin Turner signed, and Alexander Canario was designated for assignment. I don't think he's cleared the 4 days yet, so I don't know if anyone picked him up or if he got out or will be getting outrighted to Iowa. So I'll keep an eye on that over the next couple of days. Right-hand pitcher Chris Flexen signed a minor league contract with a roster to end spring training. Nicky Lopez signed a minor league contract with an invite to spring training. And then right-hand pitcher Ryan Brazier was acquired from the Dodgers, and the corresponding move was Rob Zanstrinsky was designated for assignment. Sorry about that. Windows open. Here's somebody honking some horns outside. So that is the latest moves going back to the beginning of the month, February 4th. So yeah, we will look at the if I can get it pulled up here, get the box score from today really quick. So yeah, the Cubs were down 5-0 in the sixth inning, where they then put up three on the board. In the seventh, they put up another two. They scored the winning run in the eighth and shut it down in the ninth inning. So let me see here. Get the box pulled up here. Luna, relax. My apologies. So yeah, for the pitching part of it, which I'm obviously looking at for the Cubs, where we at? That's Rangers, Cubs. So yeah, we saw, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different pitchers today. We saw Rhea, Euchert, Presley, Jensen, Pearson, Thompson, Palencia, Krisky, Martin, and Armstrong. Let's see here. So the people who had earned runs was Rhea in the first, Presley had an earned run, Keegan Thompson, Palencia, and had two. So that leaves Euchert, Jensen, Pearson, Krisky, Martin, and Armstrong, all with zero earned runs, which you love to see that. I do like the fact that Council is marching out a lot of pitchers, basically inning over inning outside of the starting pitcher. Um, so today, Euchert and Jensen were the only ones that basically just got one out. Presley had zero point 0.2 innings worth of work. Everybody else had 1 inning, and Rhea had 1.2. So, I think that Craig's Council's philosophy for this spring training, obviously, you kind of know who your starting nine is going to be. That's really not any really that big of a secret at this point. But trying to figure out who could be your potential fifth starter, and then also your bullpen is a very big key to this. I have a feeling that once we get probably down to the last 2 weeks of spring training, maybe three, you will start to see some pitchers go 2 to 3 innings, perhaps. That would be my guess. That's when you're really going to start to see people's names getting narrowed down as far as how the bullpen is going to shape up, which I think will be just fine. But yeah, with that, Cubs fans, this is the Sunday update for what our roster is looking like. We ran down some injury report lines, and also the fact that the Cubs came back down 5-0 against the Rangers to make themselves 4-0, starting off hot in the Cactus League. Cubs fans, drop your comments down below. Let me know how you're feeling about the Chicago Cubs shaping up for 2025. I'll catch you guys in the next one.